Morning all. Right, on my last vlog, someone said I was out of sequence with my voice. I'm a gardener, not a film producer, meaning I'm doing my best. For me, this takes 7 hours to put together, so like anything else in life, until you've done it, you ain't got a clue. Anyway, enjoy. Let's hope this is a bit better. Put a few photos in of nature, going through. Croconia, do I cut the seed heads off or not? I ain't got a clue. I might do. This is another little chap earlier on. This is a younger plant, but it's nice. Different colour, nice and orange. And there's some with that's a red and with a yellow inner. That's another good one. I'm still misspraying in the greenhouses. This is on tomatoes and my peppers. Help pollination. Gladies, quite a few of them opening up now. We'll cover them, quite a few through here. Showmaster onions, second year I've tried these from Marshall's. I ain't going to try them again, I'm crap. This is a photo, these are cliffs in Arizona. Look at them. Still waiting for these to come out, flitter area, no sign of them yet. Hopefully they'll come within a week. This is a mulberry bush. I ain't heard of these for yonks, but it was on special offer, so I had that come through in the post. We'll come on to him later on. Nice exhibition shallot. If I can get 24 like him, but I won't. We'll come on to that later on. These, because there's no shows, I'm just giving them away to the family. Tomatoes in the greenhouse, I weren't going to do any. But once again, because I don't need the room, I'm throwing someone else spare toms. Paul, so I had them off him. These little cherry ones are corkers. I'm taking seeds off one of them. The yellow on the middle, no taste to whatsoever. All my plants, well, there's two on the ends. I've got the main stem, then I've got a right. When I take all the side shoots off, he's got to carry on growing, so he throws another side shoot from the bottom. As you can see there, I've started off from the right, and then there's another one on the left of the plant. So I've got 3 stems off one plant, i.e. more strawberries, and that last stem has thrown flowers as well. So I should get 3 lots of stuff. Nice little chap here, he's got to be Kingfisher family, but look at the colours on him. Nature, brilliant. Still getting Bathams, Spentops delivered down the plot, luckily. Gladies. These are purple, obviously, but the colour for a purple. Corkers, that's a nice one and all with a white tinge in the middle on him. Veg, love it. Love big meat and all, so the season for runners, whatever. Do it. Potatoes, leave the skins on, good for you. Cabbage, I just cut the stems out, the stalks in the middle, and then get composted, and then slice the rest up. But spring cabbage, I love me green cabbage. It's a bit dry, bung some more gravy on him. Right, my blueberry. This, my old blackberry come out, I forget, because I'd had years out of him. Nice large hole, got some well rotted osmuck, and I've lined the bottom of the hole with a muck, and also sides, as we see in the next slide. He's ready to go out, as you can see, nice roots on him, so he's got a nice root structure, decent healthy plant. And luckily for me, there's loads of shoots on him. So he was placed ground level as he went in. More muck around the sides, help him out as much as you can. And then backfilled with the soil. You can see where I firmed him with my shoes. You've got to get him nice and solid. Firmed it again with the soil, more soil around it, and then give it a good soaking. Leave for 10 minutes and then soak him again. Because there's loads of shoots on him. My wires that was across before, 4 wires. You can't see them very well in that photo, but they are there. And then my shoots just going up, tied to the wires. When I got the length off them, then they will go along the wires, along the length. More Gladies. That's a nice white one with a cream green inner. Most of my shallots this year, I've had to bin them. I've had the fly back in them. Trading sheds on a Saturday morning if there's nobody about, custom wise. Then I'm bottling up. So I'm doing tomato feed, bottling them up. People say it was the old wine bottles. So it's Jay's Fluid, Millitox, tomato feed and Maxi Crop. There's another little chap coming on the Gladi. Is he a small or is he a prim? Don't know. Delphinium, that's the second flowering of him. Obviously not as good as the first one, but still good. Lidl again Sunday morning. They have loads of veg plants out now, which is a good thing. Hydrangea. He was naff last year. This is my last year. I've threatened him. Orchid, he's doing well. He's now got 6 flowers open. Tom's, beautiful taste, nice and sweet. Another little chap I found on a leaf. Trying to zoom him on in. Ain't a bad photo. Raspberries, the more you pick, the more you're going to get. So I wanted these for the show, for our fruit. Because there ain't none. I'm going to pick them and I'm going to do some wine. So I'm just getting them and freezing them. Cover that. Grapevine outside doing better than my grapes inside, and then turning purple. This is a nice colour combination. Pink with a yellow inner. British Gladioli Society, my purple prints. I got a 3rd with them. What do you mean they weren't a 4th? I know, but I was chuffed with that. Grapes, cutting the tendrils off and tying them up so you get more growth on the plant itself. Swede's doing well. He's having his weekly fish feed. Onion sets when I chuck inside the ton off drying off. You can see the tops have lost all the green, so they are drying off. So I've topped and tailed them, and then we'll get in, put in the green bin for the mustard. Another meal, ready for the cabbage. Another little chap opened up on the plot. Some nice colours in these, love my Gladys now. This is me, what's it called? Thunbergia, up the top of the garden. Nice colours on them and all. There's a little chap getting inside of it. Looking at the onions, I saw this chap on top of the onion. I thought, what the is that? This little one? I ain't seen one of them before. So he's a new one. But he looks like a little leaf hopper. These are drying off, but if there is a bit of moisture, then they will root again. That is nature. So you've got to keep them dry. So these just put on the dry bit of straw. Saffron onions, these are drying off. Good colour for drying off, these are. The top I've got Globo, Saffron and then Showmaster. Just to show how they are drying off. Right, shallot bed, I'm collecting all the straw off that now. This is the earliest I've prepared any beds, because there ain't no show. So all the straw is collected off. I've then got dried shredded goat muck out the garage, ready to top dress that bed. I've also got worm casts, so this is levelled off with a hand fork, as we've done there. And for now it'll just have top dressing and goat muck, which is a good brew. And then he'll have the worm casts on him, which is done there. Goodness in worm casts, superb. This is lightly mixed. I've only gone down about 1/2 inch with the hand fork. It's just to make that top surface. Look at that, beautiful stuff. Then I get my cover ready for it. These are all tied up in the shed. First of all, you've got to have a good soaking. And I mean a good soaking. This should probably last about 10 minutes. The soil will then be living and not ticking over. If it is moist, bacteria, fungi and the worms will carry on working what they're supposed to do. If it's dry, it'll just tick over. So he's had a good soaking, get my cover out ready, and bung that on. And now every 3 weeks I do a moisture check, and this is until I need the bed again. Because the cats are a problem round our way. I have to keep the bloody cats on, even with the cover on. So my leeks now, if the family come or whatever, I'll give them an onion and a leek. As I mentioned before, if we got a show, these would have done well in the show, because I've got horns on them. There's little Gladioli, self-setter from last year. So we use a little comblet. Down the plot, I'm weeding in between me eating leeks, and then I'm earthing up the leeks itself, so I get more white on the leek and not green. I like the white of a leek more so than the green. And I'm taking the debris from around me spuds and the rhubarb, that'll be composted as well. Netting's done well, scaffolding netting keeps all the butterflies and the pigeons out. Anything that's come in. It's a flea beetle that I got around him. This is a good one, I love things like that. Is it a goat or is it a bird? Both of them. Sends a brain loopy. Irises, I've got to plant them as well. Still ain't bung them in. So the raspberries, I'm picking as soon as I'm ready now. And taking them up and freezing them. Apples, these have been corks for our show, which should have been this weekend. These two large veg, there's a swede and a carrot. I've had to bin them, I've got them up. Because they got the little aphid on them. Nice Gladioli. Nice and straight, which is what I want. And there's quite a few of these purple prints coming through now. And the colour is superb. You don't really show them well there. But as soon as I am ready, I'll put a label on the bottom. How long it's taken to be in full bloom. So I know for next year when to flower. This is a nice chap, but he's got flowers pointing all corners to the earth. But when they are ready, I'll cut them and bring them back home. Either bung them in the kitchen window or in the living room. It's no good leaving them down the plot. Pity there ain't no shows. Any road, I'm all in the same boat. It's a pain in the arse. This one's Dean's List. I like this one. So all my onion sets, top of the garden, them all dried off now. I know them nice and solid. So I'll go into the garage and all my nets, which are on, are pulled back into the centre so they're away from each other. And these nets are now filled with my onions. So the bugs are not touching each other, so there's air movement around the lot. That's them out the road. Tub of carrots, if I need any, I just water, and then half hour later I pull them out finger and thumb. Then I water again after, just in case I've disturbed any more roots. I need some jam, so I'm making raspberry jam. Only got one jar left on the road. Used all my jars up, which I need some more because I've got some more beetroot to do. So he'll have a label on ready, and I'll dish him out to family as well. Nice sunny day, no wind or nothing, so all the house plants are brought outside again and fed. Still feeding this time of the year. And also foliar feed, we'll come on to a bit. Delphinium, that's another plant the other side. He's still in flower. And there's another one, and that is the third time he's flowered. That's why he's only 2 inches high. Foliar feed as well, mist spray. The smaller the mist, the better. These are my Spanish plants, I forgot the name on them. Nice pink flower. But the winds and the cold weather have knocked them to hell. I should have stuck them in the greenhouse to look after them. So these have been fed and they've had them sprayed. The ones with the big leaves, what I'm doing with them is I'm spraying onto which is the feed, onto a tissue. There's me bonsai chili, he's doing well. Yeah, see I've spraying onto the tissue and I'm just wiping the leaves so they're still getting it fed that way. Of course I'm getting the dust off. Right, all my onions are went to seed. I'm still eating them now. Well, I'm eating them first. Gladies are drying off nice. All the green's gone out of the stems. Then we'll be coming up in a week, well, before we get any cold weather. And the cormlets, them are coming on well. Holding them upright. And there's quite a few now. The Gladies got spikes on. But as soon as they open, they get put on the patio. So we get a nice bit of colour. First spike has come in the tunnel. Back down to the plot, I've tied up again on my raspberries because of the weight of them. And I'm picking now every other day. So I need to get enough to make some wine. That's the first bed of Gladies, all them are finished now. That's the second bed. There's about half of them which have thrown flowers. Third bed, I'm just getting new shoots on him, new flowers on him. And the last bed, obviously, because I was the last to go in, there's only about a third of them got canes on, but there's nothing on them yet. Every Swede is still doing well. Any rubbish on it, i.e. dead leaves or foliage, that's my carrot. I'll take all the rubbish off. There's my parsnip. But no shows again. Well, virtual shows. There is a few about, but heavy pepper, sweet pepper. He's got a nice bit of meat on him. But this will be for our show, virtual show. There's my long chilies. I'll thin him out later on as well, so I'll get more length on the ones I've just got in. Couple of red cabbage. Then we're putting a nice bit of meat on now. I'm still feeding him regular, and if we don't get any rain, obviously I'm watering them as well. Rhubarb I'm going to thin out because I want 3 stems of them for the heavy veg. Another dollop of raspberries brought home. These are ready for me. So I've got. When I get them up, I'll weigh them. Because eventually I've got to get a 1.8 kilo of raspberries for a gallon of wine. So I'm just marking it down when I do get them, and then I'm freezing them. So once I've got them all together, once I've got enough, then I'll thaw them out and make the wine, because they ain't going to keep till I've got the weight I want. On the back garden again, on the patio. Love this little chap coming through, Dean's List. Back on the tunnel, where I deadheaded before, topped and tailed, I'm now skinning off, as you can see on the left. I've rubbed all the old skins off, meaning if there's any soft ones, you'll find it. Then I saw this chap. This is the allium leaf miner. That's the grub that's left over wintering. Little person. Out of them lot, I only had one that was rotten, which ain't too bad, so I binned him. Obviously I had a couple of good to see, but I'm eating them anyway. So them lot are ready now. While we're on there, see the grapevine on the right, he's nearly come down the end. If I'm peckish, I'll just eat apple or anything else that's ready. And the stuff that's on the floor, wind drop or rotten ones, then they'll get chopped up for the composting. This is me, not a very good photo, but the pear tree. All the fruit are still putting spurts on. Still growth, it is still summer for them. I just tie the pear tree down to keep them nice and straight, telling them where to go. That's a better photo there, you see it a bit better there when I've tied him down. Right, that's a Glady, and he's got 3 shoots on him on one plant. Never known that before. Oh, that's our loopy weather. I tried string and whatever, but pipe cleaners, them are well, but they only last a year. Just keeling over a bit, put a cane on him, which you've done there, and keep him nice and straight and upright. Then you get a straighter flower, which is what you want in the end. He don't look very well. He's got a brown leaves on the bottom, so I'll just dig him up and bin him. And there's another one. He was a bit deformed, so he went straight in the bin as well. They ain't gonna give you nothing. Another little chap opening up. Growing structure with me long chili. I'm now thinning out. I'm taking all the new growth off, meaning all the grub will go into the chilies, I hope, and give me a nice long one. I'm giant Swede again. Any rubbish I pull out, and if there's anything on the leaves, then I'll cut it out of the leaves. I don't know disease on there or nothing. So all my onions now go back up the garage. They've been dried off, and the rubbish, the council can have them. Onions ready to go in the nets. For some reason it's a bit dark in the garage. I've got the bloody light on as well. That's all the nets full. And them on the front. Dish out for the family because I've run out of nets. Dean's list again. Nice and straight. This is a corker, this is. And I'm putting the Dean's listing. British Gladioli Society weekly show and me pink and my purplins. There's my purplins in the living room. Nice close up. We'll come on to them later on, see how I got on with them in the show. Another dollop of raspberries. In fact, this afternoon I'm going down to get one more lot, and that should be it then. I should have enough to make the wine. Getting him nice and straight. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 flowers on, more on him yet. Was a close up, but he's a bit blurred. Bloody phone's crap. Nice bit of more colour when the Gladys come out on the back garden. Scales is what I'm going to use when I get me red cabbage up. All I want is a rough idea because there's no shows. Another nice one, a yellow one with a orange tinge on the outside. Thunbergia, top of the garden. These are my lime props. I've done excellent these. I'm just covering the lime prop. There's a red one, a yellow one and a white one. There's a Boston colour. Dark and light colour do well together. Never seen this before. Never even thought about it. Gladys. My mate's growing Gladys and they just left them and they've gone to seed. I didn't know they went to seed. Common sense really, isn't it? Still got to survive, so they throw seed. If you take the flowers off, then they throw cormlets on the bottom. That's how they survive that way. So I'm still learning. Just cut the grass. Lord's doing well. Nice sunny day. Water, everything. Mulch it. Or where do you mulch? The more you pick, the more you're going to get. So I'm getting these away as well. There, I've got 12 flowers on him. Perfect. Look at him. He's a corker. Entered him in the weekend show. Let's see how we get on later on. Back down Lidl again. And they had these on Narcissus. So I've got 3 different lots. I'm going to run out of room soon in the back garden. I'll go in bloody loop. And these $9.99 a shredder. This is my composter. These are for you. Also got the extended edge shears. If you have a composter, chop everything up. More colour in the garden. These chaps are coming through now. I forget the name of this one, but I'm doing well. Quite a few bit coming into colour. It's alright, my bloody phone come off me, what's it then? My last border edging have come well. Begonias here, they've been superb, the colours on them. I tried to get a, we'll see later on. But just right in the middle of the bottom of the page there's a little chap coming through this, and I remember him last year. I did a talk somewhere, and I won that in the raffle, so I put him out. Someone started digging down the borders. I'll come on to him later on. These are as a sequence. That's a bit blurred, but it's just to show you the colours I'm getting on me begonias. The only thing, the rain and the weight of the rain, when it gets on them, it splats them to hell. But when they are in flower, the colours are superb. Can these little chaps notice this? On the back end, Roman numerals, tells you when I'm bloody English. Glad these. Purple, beautiful colour, purple prints. This little chap's doing well as well. I forgot the name of him, but the red goes well with the yellow. These were self-setters I potted on earlier on. I'm not sure which flower they are. I'm still trying to look at the leaves, which I've still got self-setters there. Trying to compare which flower them off. Well, whatever fox, whatever it was digging up, I put Jay's fluid down in between the plants, obviously, and it's done the trick. It's got rid of them. Ghost chili, I did these a couple of these for Shinnars last weekend, and the Armageddon, and they give them to people that gone off coming in, says I can eat any chili. But that works. Right, composting. I need some more nitrogen, so nettles. Before they got the seeds, so I collected them. Kitchen and garden waste going in bucket, chop everything up. There they am, chopped up. That'll go into my little bag, and then I chop the nettles up, as we've done there. And the bag on top of that, that's me shredded paper and my loo rolls, egg boxes ripped up. That goes in there as well. That bag's mixed up, and then it gets a double handful of everything else, my extras. Down to me bin, take the lid off, worms on top of the carpet, take one carpet off, that's the second carpet coming off. Worms underneath. Don't forget, this is just after a week, so it's done well. Activity, as you can see. So the stuff I've just chopped up and mixed, that's added to the bin. Once it's watered, then all the worms are going to do is just go through everything. They ain't got to look for nothing, it's there. Because you've chopped it up, it's nice and small. Those carpets then are then emptied, which means my worms are emptied on top of there. Then 2 carpets are put back in the bin, and those 2 are watered as well. Keeps the carpet moist. Lid back on, ready for next week. No rain for a bit, so these have been getting fed again. And nice and clean. Another little chap opened up down the plot. I've got one similar to these on the back garden as well in the tunnel. He's got a few more flowers on. I think there's only 5 flowers on last time, but he looks a bit better now. He's a little. Love these little chaps. Got a little green tinge in the middle of the gladdies. Last of the purples coming up. Them have done well. I've been chuffed with them. Another little chap, not sure whether he's a small gladioli or a prim either. Somebody will tell us. My last delphin in my large flower, I've chopped him off, but already there's new growth coming on. This was for me, I've got a mate who's got he's broke a world record for something, but I'll let you know next minute. I can't tell you too much. And there I come a second with my Dean's list, a third, sorry, with Dean's list, and a second with my purple prints. So I've chuffed with them. I know there were no third, but it's all good stuff. More veg being picked. Love our veg. fresher the better. The more you pick, the more you're going to get. Gladdies, again, I'm going to get peed off with these irons. As soon as I'm ready, I'm going to chop them, bring them back home. Another little chap that's opened up. He's similar to the last Pinkin, but he's got difference to him. These lot are going back home. Ready for this little chap was a goblin bat. Weird nature, love it. More raspberries. Somebody wanted a photo of me raised beds top of the plot, so that was for them, just to show you the beds. Sprouts, nice and straight, doing well. I forgot to net these last year for some reason. Anyway, about time we had some more sprouts. It's about the fourth lot I've had off now. But if I'm there, pick them. Otherwise, it's going to stop growing. And this little chap, he's growing out of the side of the plant. Got a sprout on the end and small babbies on the inner. Strange. Another nice straighten, ready for the show. That's ready for this weekend, in fact tomorrow, Friday. And that's for the carrots, these are coming out. Upending them, because I need to prepare that side of the bed ready for next year. So I'll prepare all the carrots, take them down to the kitchen, and the ones we don't use, obviously I'll freeze them, ready for later on. I've done well. There's that little chap just started opening up in the tunnel. I've got to put him on as well, hoping somebody will tell me what the name of him is. But still got quite a bit of colour on the side of the garden. Bit more colour on him and all, whatever he was. I forget. My brain ain't much cop, memory wise. But he's a nice one. Another bed stop dress, fresh more goat muck and worm cast ready. And this is the one because I've took me onions now, which we're drying out on here. So I clicked all my straw, clicked all that in, and that'll be saved, ready for next year. Because obviously if you don't get wet, it's going to last for moons. So all the straws are collected in, my muck. There's a little Gladioli which was right in the middle, self-setter, so I've took him up. And another prim opened on the allotment, he's a corker. No one else son out, sorry to tell you, very, but he love him. I ain't got a clue what the bloody name is. But I'll put around the site as well. 17 days to flower, so I know for next year all of them are going to have the days on. Right, back to my tunnel. The goat muck and worm cast have been put on. Cover's out ready. He's had a good watering, good soaking, and I mean a good soaking and all. And the cover goes on in, keep the moisture and warmth in. And exactly the same again. 3 weekly check. You can see the grapevine on the right. He's nearly reached the end of the tunnel, which is what I was after. More dried goat muck on the plot, ready to take up to the garage, and I'll put through my shredder. Another bed which is cleared, top of the garden. I'm going to prepare this exactly the same again, which is collect all the straw up, obviously, level it, and then get the goat muck and my worm cast again, ready to go on, which we have done there. There's that much goodness in worm cast. It's the best manure you can get, obviously, because the worms have took all the goodness out of the soil. Good soaking, which is what you need. While I was there, I've drenched everything else, which is all my top dressing on everything else that's growing. So that's had a good soaking. Getting the cover out for that ready. And boom, get the cover on. That will now also look after that soil. Keeping working. He's that little chap out of the tunnel, and he's similar to the other one in a pot, but I'm still different. I'll get the name off him anyway. Right, rhubarb, I need thin him out so I can get thicker stems with them 3 that I'm going to take. So I've put these out in the sun for a couple of hours. Once the soil's dry on the bottom, I'll just wipe it off. And I dished them out last night to the neighbours. Any more old flows again. This is me in the waiting room for the missus, reading me book, Teeming with Microbes. Got my nice face mask on. These are oyster shells. Put them through my grinder. $9.99 from Lidl. It works. Look at that. I use that for loads of things. Alfalfa pallets. Shredder again. Did I cover that before or not? I don't know. $9.99 anyway. For shredding your paper. There's a nice onion for my mate. The larger the onion, the milder it is. That's from my mate Gavin down Wales. Look after that for him. Another little chap. That's another one. It's true, you only get one life, enjoy it. Don't forget, friends,